Uh, I would like to thank the management of this institution in inviting me to be standing in front of you to address you in this Deeksharambh 2025 ceremony as you step in to this portals of this great institution. In fact, I've had a very long association or a very old association with this institute because I was, when they were small, when they were operating out of premises in front of Pune station, when they were small, when they had started off, especially to address and meet MBA students that point in time. So I think it's almost 20, 25 years back that I was there as a part of the industry to come and talk to the students and meet the students. And it's an honor to be here back after all this time and to see this institute grow in eminence in growth in terms of number of students also it has taken. Professor Das just told me 1,000 students, 1,000 plus students every year. It's a great number. Uh, a big clap for that for the institute. So it's both a privilege and an honor to stand in front of you today as you take this huge step in a transformation of your life, a journey not merely of acquiring a degree known as MBA, but which will also see your personal growth, hone both your professional and personal skills, make some of you iconic leaders, some of you could be leaders, some of you could be businessmen who grow up to form a startups and have unicorns built. Today, India is one of the largest hubs for startups, isn't it? So a lot of opportunities in India also. The India of today is much different from the India that it was when I was your age. Today, the India that we know, or the Bharat that we know, is much more advanced in terms of technology, in terms of opportunities, in terms of wisdom, in terms of knowledge, in terms of whatever we do, our innovations and the patents that we have. May not be many, but I think the patents that we have, the number of scientists that we have, the kind of missions that we do, the kind of frugalness with which we do. I think people, when I travel abroad and when you look at things, no, we ourselves in India have a famous word called jugaad. And when no, it becomes, we look down upon that word jugaad. But actually, because it comes from a Hindi base, but when you really look at it, what is it that we do when we say jugaad? It is basically being as cost effective and as frugal. And that comes from the earlier days of the growth of this country, when we have seen shortages, when we have seen shortages all across, even for our basic needs. And we have come from that stage, from that environment, from that life cycle of this country. And I think that has taught us to be as frugal or have solutions built in, which are frugal, which are cost effective, and which throw the world out of gear. Okay, and make the world stand up and notice our inventions, our innovations. Uh, Today, as you sit with anticipation and a mix of curiosity and nervous excitement, I want to remind you this is not just about acquiring an MBA. This is about becoming the best version of yourself. It is a journey of learning, unlearning, and relearning. Now, when it comes to after your studies, no, when you step into a very volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environment. A business environment which we call as VUCA in short form. Environment which is ever changing, which is ever dynamic, which is ever growing. So how do you navigate a dynamic business environment like that? Now, let me share an anecdote. When we had 4 years back a pandemic which ruled the world, and no, most of us were confined to our homes. We are not able to get out. We are not able to do things. 2 years were very bad. Let us put it that way. Many of us lost the freedom that we call the freedom to move out, the freedom to go for a movie, the freedom to go out to picnics, the freedom to do what we wanted to do. without any uh, bondage. So those 2 years of COVID taught us many things. So before COVID, if you look at any of the seniors sitting in this room would know that Zoom, today we say a Zoom meeting kar lete, right? Or a Teams meeting kar lete. But before COVID, these two words were never part of our dictionary, were never part of our lingo. Zoom and Teams. MS Teams also. If you see Microsoft Teams, in fact, Microsoft Teams was there, really speaking, but no one ever used it. Neither Microsoft saw the what do you say, objective or the purpose of or the benefit of pushing it through. But COVID taught them to reinvent and do things and do it much faster. And that is why then you had also this group thing coming in Teams, where you can also have a group chat and you have a group or meeting environment as if you're in office. It taught us a new word today, WFH, because today's students, today's Gen Z, today's uh, Gen Zs normally ask us when we want to recruit people, the first question they ask is, do you have WFH? WFH was unheard of until 2020, 21. So today WFH is a given thing. Work from home is what people want. And or at the most today, people are also looking at hybrid. Okay, you don't want, I will not come for 5 days or 6 days to the organized to the office. Let me come for at least, I'll come only for 2 days or 3 days. At least 2 days I should be at home. So that's the kind of inventions that are happening. And that's the kind of business environment that you are in. So when you get into this kind of an environment, when you get into this kind of economic situation or business situations, what is more important is how will you respond? Are you ready to change quickly, to unlearn things that you have learned and relearn things that is the need of that hour at that point in time? And that is one ability that you guys should have, ability to unlearn and learn as fast as you can, because that is the only way you will be able to survive. As Charles Darwin has quoted, or famously said, it is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. So what it is meant is how fast you can respond to the change that is happening in your personal life, in your professional life, in the business life, in country economic environment is, and how you respond, as how quickly you respond decides how, because we have all learned the Charles Darwin theory, survival of the fittest. It is survival of the fittest in terms of fittest now being, meaning how responsive you are to the change, how fast you can change. So that's your challenge as future leaders, because as leaders of organizations, you will be called upon to take quick decisions on your feet, thinking on your feet, and so that the organization doesn't suffer fast, is able to meet expectations. And especially when, so today all of us are consumers of some brand or the other as retail consumers. You know, if you see, for example, a Zomato or a Swiggy, today we are also on a very small way part of, we also have a direct to consumer business. And consumer minds are always fickle. The moment a certain thing doesn't work, so the moment you don't get something on Swiggy, you will switch on to Zomato, right? So the moment you don't get something on Zepto, you will move on to Blinkit or a future or a Flipkart Minutes. So that's the age that we are talking of. So when consumers' attention span is 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 so small, when today people, no, today when our age, when we were growing, when we were students, when I was a student, I didn't, we did not have TVs coming in. Televisions came in only after I think I passed out of school, and then when it came also, we had only one channel. Today you have not only channels, but you have Netflixes and whatnot to choose from. So you're spoiled for choice. So, and that means there's a lot of distractions also. So in that distraction, you should be able to, find out as they say, a method in that madness and be focused on your goals. That's what is important. To be aware of what you want to do, and then once you are aware of what you want to do, you will always find a way to do it. Okay, because I always tell in my office, my colleague is here from HR. No, I always tell there are only two possibilities in life, as in computers. For example, it's either one or zero, right? There's nothing in between. Today, the mic is either on or the mic is all off. There's nothing in between. Okay, it's sometimes on, it's sometimes off. So So if in that situation, what is important is what you want to do. If you are focused on what you want to do, you will find ways and means to do it and achieve your goal. But if you don't want to do it, you will find out 10,000 excuses how not to do it, how you will not be able to do it. So what is important is also to have a very strong mindset at the end of the day, a strong mind, a disciplined mind, a dedicated mind. I mean, I just got the visiting cards of the professors here. It says discipline, dedication, and determination. And I think that's very, very important to be disciplined. As if you are disciplined in your habits, in your activities, in your thoughts, in your mindset, I think you will be dedicated and you will be determined to achieve your goals. Without these three Ds, I don't think anything is possible in life. Then comes the role of technology in modern management, the powers of technology and the perils of technology. We have moved today, we are in an age of chat GPTs. As students, you have a very, what do you say, a very open source available to you that you put in your query, you get it from chat GPT, right? No, even your exams, probably if you're on an online mode, probably you will be able to use the chat GPT, put in your answers or Google it out. Today, everything and anything is available on your fingertips. So what is more important is to understand how this technology is to be used. The power of technology, so the use of technology or the use of chat GPT or even the AI that is there today. It is dangerous. Of course, it's dangerous. It is. We have seen it can be dangerous. We have seen one of the instances. I think last month there was an article where AI did not respond as well to the commands that it got, and it became a rogue. So there could be cases like that. But what is more important to understand is not be afraid of adopting technology. When we started off, when computers came, we were told we will all be unemployed, but we adopted computers. When the year 2000 came, there was a bug. The entire world will collapse. No, the entire systems will collapse. The computer will not be able to handle the year 2000. And then there was a lot of projects. A lot of companies made a lot of money out of that projects. But we all survived that age. So we will survive. The human mindset, the human beings are built to adapt, built to change, built to respond. And I think I'm sure as the AI comes, of course, what what kind of people need to be worried about are people who are more inclined to do repetitive jobs, who are more inclined, they would like to do some clerical stuff, want to do some routine stuff. Those are the people who might have to reskill themselves. Those are the people who might be able to, they will be the guys who will lose their job if they don't reskill themselves. If they can reskill, unlearn what they have learned and learn new technologies, new skills, I think the jobs are available for everyone. So what's important is not to be afraid of technology, but to see how you can use that technology for your own good, for your own growth, for your own information gathering, for your own innovations. That's more important. And then use that power to do what you want to do today, because most of the things, for example, computers today, everyone today, an HR person or even a finance guy has to handle more computer systems than what it was in the past. So previously we had only calculators. No, the one thing which was most closer to computers was the calculators at the end of the day. And that time also we had this. I don't know, most of you guys would have not seen. We had this, what we call as adding machines. We had these machines where you could add and you could take out of this thing. And then after that came the calculators. But then we did not know none of the accountants or none of the finance guys lost their job. Calculators then became a part of our life. So that's the way you need to look at it. Today, for example, Vande Bharat, it's a computer running on rails. Or for example, Domino's Pizzas. Most of you have heard of Domino's Pizzas, yes? Domino's Pizza, if you talk to Domino's, they will not tell you that they are a pizza company. They will not tell you they are a pizza company. They will say we are a technology company delivering pizzas. Because what drives the entire chain from input to output and to the customer servicing is technology. It's the computers, the systems that they use. So that's why they perfectly say that they are a technology company and not the food company. So embrace technology. What is important is to embrace technology, not be afraid of technology, and use technology wisely, use the systems wisely to further your growth. But also understand as you move, you also need to understand the limitations. All whatever said and done, the power of thinking, the universe has given the power of thinking to only, I at least firmly believe, the power of thinking, what distinguishes human beings, mankind from the other creatures in this world is the ability to think. And I think whatever you do, whatever advances happen in artificial intelligence and as they call as machine learning, it's only as much as you program them to do. They will not be able to develop their own sort of thinking. I mean, I don't know whether any technologies will come because Elon Musk has a company which does something on neural link. You put a neuron into your brain and then it starts thinking. I mean, if something comes, that comes. If there's a mass production of that, we don't know what is going to happen. But as of now, at least I would like to believe that the ability to think and understand the effects of things, of complexities of what is happening, connect the dots, as they say, is only with the human beings. That also means today, when you look at systems, when still staying on systems, many of the companies today use enterprise-wide resource planning, where the entire so enterprises are modules at the end of the day. You think of modules, an enterprise is a conglomeration of modules. There is a production, there is a sales, there is a HR, there is finance, there is technology, all this, and all this put together is what is made of an organization. Even in your institute, if you see, you will have the professors, the people who are teaching. There's an accounting staff where you pay your fees, and they give you the receipts. And there could be the HR person handling the employees of this institute. So it's all different departments. Now, how do you connect the departments? So there are systems called ERP. I don't know, many of you would, since you're just joining, probably would have not heard of systems like Oracle or SAP, which connects the entire organization. And it's enterprise-wide resource planning. What is important is also to be technology, so be ready. So maybe even it's not part of your curriculum, it's important to go beyond a curriculum. It's important that you don't restrict yourself to the textbooks that are prescribed or the textbooks that are taught in the classes. What is also more important is to see, and since you have the power of ChatGPT, also to research out what your subject means. So do that little bit effort to understand a bit, go a bit deeper into the subjects that you are learning. So in that sense, you also need to then understand the ERP systems that the companies operate, because most of the organizations, large organizations, small and even small and big, have connected systems for ERP. So how they function, how the interconnections of the functions happen through the system. It's important to understand that. It's important to know that so that you are industry ready. Then the third point that I would like to mention here is cultivating a growth mindset. What does that mean? So here, your time here, probably as all MBA institutes are, please correct me, sir, if I'm wrong, is will always be rigorous. You'll always have a lot of case studies to do, a lot of project work to be done, a lot of midnight oil to be burnt, a lot of things to be done, right? A lot of projects to be done. Embrace these challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. Remember that it's not about perfection that is important, but what is important is persistence. Maybe one of the first group discussions you failed, no, because normally you have group discussions happening in institutes like this. Maybe in the first group discussion you have not done better, you have not done well, you have not been able to start up. There's a startup trouble. Maybe, but as you go, what is important is to be persistent and then start slowly and gathering the attention of the evaluators to you, and then slowly taking over that discussion. So what is important is to slowly keep on changing and understanding, cultivating that mindset that okay, as changes happen, uh, you embrace that change and also anticipate. Sometimes you also need to anticipate what the change in a business environment. When you have become business leaders, it is also important to connect the dots. There could be certain things, for example, which are not connected to the industry that you're working, or even the not only working. Maybe some of you will go up and build startups. So maybe there are things which are not happening in your industry, but there are things happening in some of the other industries. Probably that is also something which you need to really look out for. What is happening in other industries? Will that affect the industry that I'm working for or working in, or the industry I am running my business? Will that affect my organization? Will that affect my business? And how do I ensure that I am ready to take or embrace that and see I'm ready for that opportunity for the change that is happening? That also means Looking at challenges not as hurdles, but looking at challenges as stepping stones to success, ensuring that whatever, especially if you are going to build startups, there will be many people who will keep on talking to you and trying to discourage you and throwing bricks at you. Use those bricks to build the path and walk on that path to your success. That's what important. You need to have you need to change before you have to change. Now today we are talking of no, there are people like we talk of when we talk of change, we tell our employees also that you need to anticipate the change. Now you have to change. For example, people are doing, for example, in a finance function, you're doing bill passing, you're passing the invoices. The guy is doing an accounting function. We need to force them to say, boss, start looking at what an AI can do, what a robotic process automation can do. Start looking at some non-routine work, some analytical work. So now you're pushing them to do. If you really have a growth mindset, if you really look at embracing challenges, you will understand what is happening and you will slowly start looking at it. Okay, let me also look at beyond my area of work, see what can be done. And that's more important. That's more important to have that mindset. The fourth thing that I would like to talk about is ethics and responsibility. Today's world, many things you are easy money is always available. You will always it's easy to make money unethically, irresponsibly, and we have seen a lot of startups doing that. Startups giving We have seen a lot of startups not being compliant enough, giving a short thrift to their employees also. But what is more important to understand is to do your business as ethically as you can, run or work. Even if you're not doing a business, if you're not running a business, even if you're working for an organization, be as ethical and as responsible as you can be. Uh, one example that comes to my mind is the Tata Group. If you see, the Tata Group is always famous for its ethical transactions, ethical. So I was in Tata's once as part of my in this long journey of mine in corporate life, we always used to have the Tata Code of Conduct, Tata Commandments, the 10 Commandments as we used to call it that time. No, which used to hold us responsible for being ethical, for being responsible, for ensuring that whatever decisions we take are taken for the good of the people, for good of the organization, for the good of the society. What's important is to ensure that you run your businesses, you run your businesses, or you work or you do employment ethically and responsibly. Then building, so since you're in an MBA function, you've stepped into this MBA degree course. What is more important also is building a collaborative community, a community of networking, because networking is always important. Networking gives you idea. So beyond, you should be able to reach out to people. So today, I think the first year is a common year where people learn everything, all the functions. But as you move out into the second year, you branch out into your specializations. What is also important is to build rapport with the others who are specializing in say, finance. If a person is in HR, it's important to build rapport with the people uh, studying finance or studying HR or studying production planning or studying operations or technology, and then understanding how these dots can be connected, how and why finance is important or why HR is important, and how does it affect production? How does a decision in production affect the finance function, or how an HR decision affects the finance function or a production function? It's important to understand these dots. As I said, the organization is a combination of all these functions. So it's important to understand this so that you can make well-informed and well-studied judgments. Otherwise, if you work, with only a fixed set mindset, you might take decisions which would affect some parts of the organization and ultimately result in some losses to the organization. So what's important is to build this power of networking, to build this power of collaboration as you go forward, and which will always be helping you in the long run. Looking ahead, as you stand at the cusp of this exciting journey, I encourage you to approach it with enthusiasm, curiosity, and determination. Don't lose the power of curiosity. Don't lose the ability to ask questions. Don't, maybe you are too shy to ask questions to your professors and the whole class, but maybe you can seek them out privately, talk to them, understand. But be curious in what you are learning, be curious in what you are doing. That will help you to learn more, get more knowledge, and also help you in as you go forward in your degree course. Mm, In closing, I would like to remind that success is not solely defined by the titles or salaries that you get, but by the impact that you make, the integrity you uphold, and the legacy you leave behind. That's very important. So, what is important is not only money, but what is the impact that you make on yourself, on your lives, on the people that you work with, and the legacy that you leave behind. So, as you embark on this journey, set clear goals, remain focused, remain open to challenges, remain open to the new experiences that you get, remain embrace the technology as if you don't fear technology. Seek mentorship. What's important is seek mentorship. As I said, stay curious and never stop learning. Learning is a continuous journey. As long as you're in this world, learning is a continuous journey at any age. So don't stop learning. The skills and insights that you will be gaining in this organization, in this institution, in these 2 years, I think will stand you, will be the foundation on which you will build your careers and your future. I would, as a last thing, I would like to leave you with the thoughts of Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker was a very great management guru. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Go forth and create a future that you are proud of. Thank you, and I wish you all the very best in your engagement. Thank you.